G'day everyone, Professor Maple here. We are on my redstone test world for another tutorial. Today I'm going to show you this very simple uh, yet still semi-automatic redstone cocoa bean farm. Now this one uses observers, so if you've got access to nether quartz in the early game, this is going to be the brown dye farm for you, or the cookie farm, or whatever the heck you want to use this for. It's pretty simple. You plant your cocoa beans on the sides of the logs. You wait for them to grow up. Once they've grown, you hit the lever, and it automatically harvests them. You don't have to hit the lever back to turn it off. And then, of course, you can use water streams or whatever you want to harvest that. And then you just replant it. This farm is built specifically to keeping in height of your reach and survival mode in mind. So if you do want to like make this bigger or smaller in creative mode, I'm not sure why you'd need a farm for this in creative mode, but if you do, because I know someone will, uh, you can definitely make it tall enough to hit the piston push limit if you really want. You'll see here we've got kind of a bare bones of what it is. So you've got your piston on top attached to a couple of observers. This observer observes the logs moving. This one observes that and puts out a redstone signal to the piston, which pushes them back down. To activate it, you hit the lever. The observer notices that the lever has changed state. Doesn't so much worry about whether it's powered or not, which is exactly what we want here. And then it activates a piece of redstone underneath, which then in turn activates a piston, which has a couple blocks between it and our necessary jungle wood blocks here, and they're about from this height of the lever there are 6, so 12 blocks total. This block doesn't need to be jungle, it could be whatever the heck you want as long as it's pushable by a piston. And this block, if you've got water streams, is kind of the same in the same boat there, where it can be anything pushable. If you're using like mine carts or something to go around this, you might want something different. That's fine too. So we're gonna get to the tutorial here. So below where you want to set this up, you want to put a redstone dust there, and then you want a piston just same level as that block you place the redstone dust on. Now you want 8 blocks. First 2 can be whatever, and the other 6 can be, well, they're going to have to be jungle wood, of course. And then you want to place your piston up top there. So 2 blocks between your temporary block, you place your piston, and now this top part, it can go any side of this as you want. So if you want it to look symmetrical from the front like that, you can, but if you want them to sort of like go off to the side like that, and then the other one beside it kind of go off to the side like that, that's an option you can have too. Or if you want to see all the redstone in the front and kind of, I'm not building this farm for you, you are, so you choose how you want to do that, because they're kind of independent. These two systems, the activation and the retraction, are both sort of, or the reset, I guess it's a better word for that one, because you've got whatever restrictions you've got with your base and your farm. You can orientate those however the heck you want. I won't tell anyone. And then, so once we've got that in, we want to go back down here, set our observer just above that redstone. Now it will activate, that's fine. That's why we don't place the cocoa beans beforehand there. And then there you go. You've got your base farm, so you can put the floor at this level. You can put the floor at this level. If you're doing water streams, again, water streams will wash your buttons and your switches away. I recommend just the levers fine. So you will, if you are doing water streams, you do need to have it below or the water itself needs to be the same level as this observer in order to not wash out that redstone there. Now you can put a floor around it and you're good to go. Now, as far as a roof is concerned, you can pretty much put it at the level where the space is that you need to push the jungle wood back. Now, if you put it any lower than that, then you start taking up some of the room that you have to plant your cocoa beans. And if you put it any higher, you just have to keep in mind that you maybe need to put half slabs on top of that piston, because I think when it's retracted it still counts as a full block and therefore spawns mobs. I could be wrong on that. Feel free to correct me in the comments. I'm okay with that. And then if you want to, this is a neat little setup here, but of course you know it's probably more efficient, like you'll get more cocoa bean in a smaller area if you sort of checkerboard them, like kind of like this. So if you place one farm there, that's the log column, one farm there, that's the log column. Actually, let's switch this, make sure it's a bit more visible, and you can kind of alternate them like that in sort of like a square area. You'll be able to fit a cocoa bean there, a cocoa bean there, a cocoa bean there, a cocoa bean there, and then maybe even activate them from, actually you won't be able to walk into it, so activate them from somewhere else. That's something you can do. I'm not going to figure out that collection system for you, but good luck with that if you do. And then there's also the possibility of scaling this up. So if you want to just make a big wall of it and then have like a water stream down here and a walkway to collect whatever falls there, that's fine. One thing you have to keep in mind though is that it's not a tileable design. So if you do need to, if you are making just a wall of sugarcane farm, or sugarcane farm, of cocoa bean farm even, you want to take this design I showed you before for the top, mirror it on every second piston that you'll have, and then on the ones in between and on the ends if you've got an even number. You basically want to do this. So this observer is pointing into that block there, that block you can see, and this observer is pointing into it. This observer is pointing into that one there. So down from that, it gets the redstone signal, puts it into a repeater, and then into the piston there. So alternatively, what you can do with your tiled wall version of this farm, instead of using repeaters, is use observers. Again, that's going to be more expensive, so if you do that, it's up to you to decide. Now, it doesn't really change any of the delay that you will get from the wall. It might sync up a little bit depending on if you're on a server or not, but for the most part, it's still going to be kind of in between, and then every second piston is going to double fire at the top there, just because of how the redstone works. Anyway, I hope you find this useful, and if you did, be sure to leave a like, maybe subscribe if you want to see some more. I might find some more things to do when 1.13 comes out with tutorials and stuff. And anyway, I hope you have a good rest of your day, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye!